Hello students, how are you all? Hope you are safe and sound and fit and fine. Welcome to English class. I am Sarita. Today we are going to start a new topic of grammar, punctuation. Punctuation is used to create sense, clarity and stress in sentences. So to stress the sentences, to create clarity in the sentences, we use punctuation. So let us see first punctuation mark, which is full stop. The full stop is added at the end of a sentence. For example, they are planning a long holiday in New Zealand. So this sentence is completed. Till this word New Zealand it is completed. So we have put full stop after New Zealand. So to stop the sentence we use full stop. At the end of the sentence we must use full stop. Next, it is also used for the abbreviations like B.Ed, MPhil. For the abbreviations also we use full stop. Question mark. Next is question mark. It is used at the end of a question. As we always say, it is used in interrogative sentences, at the end of interrogative sentences. As the name itself is suggesting, question mark. So question mark is used at the end of interrogative sentences. For example, whose is this red big notebook? So here I am asking a question. So at the end we must put a question mark. Next sign of punctuation is exclamation mark. It is used with the exclamatory sentences, as we have earlier read in the sentences. At the end of exclamatory sentences and interjections, or sometimes for showing sudden feelings or for showing such kinds of words which express funny statements. So for that also we use exclamation mark. For example, bravo, very well played. So bravo is a interjection word. So after this word we have used sign of exclamation. Like one more example we can see of exclamatory sentences. How beautiful this city is. So this is a kind of exclamatory sentence. So after this also we should use sign of exclamation. So this sentence is expressing strong feeling. How beautiful the city is. How beautiful this city is. So we here strong feelings are expressed. So for such kinds of sentence also we use exclamation mark. Next is comma. It denotes a brief pause. So to separate a series of words, phrases and clauses, we use comma. For example, we bought eggs, bread and milk. So to separate eggs and bread, these two words, we have used comma. Otherwise, the sentence will be not in correct punctuation. So to separate the words, we must use comma. Next use is to separate a noun used for addressing someone from the rest of the sentence. For example, Rashi, put those books on the table. So after Rashi, I have given a little pause. Rashi, put those books on the table. So to give a little pause and to separate this noun from the rest of the sentence, we must use comma. Next, to separate question tags from the rest of the sentences, as we have seen many times, he is too big for his boots, isn't he? So isn't he, this is the question tag. To separate this question tag from this sentence, we have used comma here. So to separate the question tags also we use comma. Next, to separate one part of the date from the other. For example, May 7. If we write like this, May 7, after this we have to put comma and then we can write this one, 1961. It is also used to separate the words like yes, no or well. Well, I have completed my graduation. So for such kinds of words also we must separate those words with comma and then we can continue with our own sentence. Now to separate expressions which refer to the same person. So sometimes we need to extend the sentence and we need to say about the same person. So for that reason also we must separate them from the comma. Our Vice Chancellor. Now we are telling the next phrase also about Vice Chancellor itself. So our Vice Chancellor, a highly able administrator. Now if we want to tell something more about the same person, then again we have to separate it with comma. Runs the university effectively. So like this we should use comma in a sentence. We must remember all these uses of the commas. And next we are going to read about colons, semicolons, and many other types of punctuation marks as well. So the next punctuation mark is semicolon. A semicolon is used to separate independent clauses not joined by conjunction. For example, Varun is a basketball player. He also plays the violin. Here we don't have any conjunction, so we can use a semicolon. Only for this we should use semicolon to separate two independent clauses. We can use semicolon where we don't use any conjunction. So there we should use. Next is colon. It is used to introduce a list, as we have seen many times. So the three things make us human. Now it is the list given here. Our compassion, our creativity, and our strength. So this is the list of things which will make us human. That's why here we have used colon. Next is dash. Dash is used to insert an explanation in the middle of the sentence. For example, you would have seen science definitions. So after a definition is given, we use dash to explain it further. For example, the process dash as described by Archimedes involved the use of giant pulleys. So here this process, the process, after that we have put dash because we need to explain it further. That's why we have used dash here. Hyphen is little less in size than dash. So it is used in compound words, numbers and adjectives. For example, passerby, state of the art, 33 in numbers we use hyphen. And to add a prefix to a word. For example, cooperative. So co is prefix. And with this prefix we have made a new word cooperative. Here long term, one-sided. So for these kinds of words also we use hyphen. Next is apostrophe. It is used to indicate the possessive form of a noun, as we have seen it many times. To for example, Sanjay's book. So book of Sanjay, Sanjay's book. So here book is possessed by Sanjay. That's why we have used apostrophe here. He is happy. For contractions also we use he is happy. So it is the short form of he is. That's why it is called as contraction. So here also we can use apostrophe. It means he is, and in short form it is written he is happy. So it is contracted. So that's why we can use in contractions. Inverted commas. So we have learned direct and indirect speech. There we used to see inverted commas. For the actual words of speakers, we have used them. For example, Raj said, it has been raining since morning. So here, these are the actual words of the speaker. These are the actual words which Raj spoke. So these words should be inside inverted commas. Next is, it is also used to denote the names of poems or short stories. So here dusk is the name of a short story. I have put it in inverted comma, and I made a sentence, Dusk by Saki is my favorite short story. So for the names of poems or short stories, we should keep them in inverted commas. Now capital letters. Capital letters are used in the following situations. For proper nouns, as we already know, for all kinds of proper nouns we should use capital letter. As we have our names, so our name should start with a capital letter. At the beginning of the sentences, whenever we start a sentence, after a full stop or when we are starting a paragraph or an essay or a story, the first letter should be capital. Then after full stop, again it should be capital. So at the beginning of the sentences, to write the pronoun I, this is very important. Whenever we used to write the pronoun I, whenever we need to write the pronoun I in any sentence, or it is coming, if it is coming in the middle also, we should write I with a capital I. We should write it in capital. So for the first letter of each line in a poem, when we write a poem, the first letter in each line should be capital. When we write the titles of books, stories or essays, for example, the God of Small Things. So here the first letter of this word the, T should be capital. Then the second word is God, so G also should be capital. We don't put it capital for prepositions, like of is a preposition, so we no need to put it. But for small S should be capital. Then things, T should be capital. Except the prepositions, we put all other words in capital to write the title of the books or stories or essays or any other title as well. So all the letters should be capital. For titles of people, example, Mrs. Mishra, Mr. Barrett, so such kinds of titles also we should keep them in capital. For names of buildings, bridge and monuments, the Taj Mahal, the Red Fort, so all these kinds of buildings or bridges or monuments, they should also come with a capital letter. Names of the countries, they are also proper nouns, so they should also come in capital letters. So let's have a quick recap of all the things we have learned so far. So our first punctuation mark was full stop. We need to put full stop at the end of each sentence, and we should also put full stop in the abbreviations. So there also it is used. So next punctuation mark was question mark. Question mark is put at the end of a question. So for all the interrogative sentences, we should use question mark at the end of that sentence. For example, which book do you like the most? So here I am asking a question, so it becomes a interrogative sentence. So at the end we should put a question mark. Then next, exclamation mark, which is used with exclamatory sentences and interjections. So it should be used with those sentences and with the interjection. Then there was comma. Comma is used to separate question tags, and it is also used to separate the words, phrases or clauses in a sentence. Then comma is also used to separate the words like yes, no, well, and it is also used to separate the noun which is described in the sentence and it is extended further. Then in that sentence also we should use. Then we have semicolon. Semicolon is used to separate two independent clauses where we don't use any conjunction. So for those clauses we should use semicolon. So colon is also used to introduce a list, like this example we have seen. Then dash is used to insert an explanation in the middle of the sentences. As I told you earlier, for the definitions and for such kinds of things we use dash. Hyphen is used for compound words and numbers and adjectives. It is also used to add a prefix to a word like cooperative. And then apostrophe is used to indicate the possessive form of a noun. For example, Sanjay's book, Children's Day. To form contractions also we use apostrophe. He is happy. Inverted commas are used to for the actual words of the speaker in direct speech. So this was the example given here. It is also used to denote the names of poems and short stories. Names of poems and short stories also are kept in inverted commas. Capital letters we use for proper nouns at the beginning of the sentence, and to write the pronoun I the pronoun I will always be capital regardless of its place. It should be always capital for the first letter of each line in a poem. Every line of the poem should be starting with the first capital letter. Then when we write the titles of books, stories or essay or any other title also, if we are writing, all the letters should be capital except the prepositions. Then for titles of people, Mrs. Mishra, Mr. Barrett. Then for the names of building, bridge and monuments like the Taj Mahal, the Qutub Minar, the Red Fort. So all kinds of those buildings should be starting with capital letters. They are proper nouns also, so they should be starting with capital letters. So this was all about the topic, children. If you have any doubts, you can call me or you can message me. Thanks for joining me. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.